DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today we want to talk about what you want to do with your life, where you want to take your activities, where you want to take your energy. And this is actually a really important thing, even though I know a lot of people these days only see a few options for themselves. Either they want to be an athlete, a musician, you want to be an influencer on social media. A lot of people don't see a lot of opportunity for themselves because they're only looking at a few things. Not like the opportunities aren't there to be seen, it's just that they're not looking for them. But I read this book called Good to Great by Jim Collins recently. The book's been out for a while, but I just read it in early 2019. And one of the things that Jim Collins talks about in the book is that the companies, because the book is about studying companies, but it applies to individuals as well. So you need to read this book because it's about following corporations. I'm not a corporate worker, but again, the stuff in this book is like top notch. But he said the companies that became great, they were doing good, but they became great. Well, the number one thing that they figured out as far as their business model is what can we be the best in the world at? That was the question that they asked themselves. Not, let me be clear, not what are we good at? Not what are we really good at? It's what can we be the best in the world at? What's the one thing that we can own? What's the one corner that we can own that nobody can beat us at doing this thing? And the companies that became great all had answered that question specifically and definitively. I'm telling that to you to ask you the same question. What are you really focusing on in your work that you could be the best in the world at it? Not something that you'd be really good or even better than a few people or that you're doing all right in, but you could be the best in the world, to where if you really focused on it and continue to develop yourself and add tools and invest in yourself, you could be better than everybody at this one thing. Now that thing doesn't have to be specifically the activity. Like for example, it doesn't have to be making videos or writing books. It's what are the videos about and what are the books about? What's the subject of what you're doing? So it doesn't have to be the specific activity itself, but it's what you're representing. What is it that you can represent or do or have attached to your name? What's your brand going to be that everybody knows, okay, in this thing right here, nobody can mess with this person or this company or whatever. And another thing about this is that figuring out what you can be the best at, once you decide what it is and you focus on it, that's when you start to differentiate yourself. But the other thing about it is, this is not a plan to make yourself the best. This is not a strategy to, all right, I decided I want to be the best at playing basketball, so I'm gonna focus on that. No. The question that you need to ask yourself here is, what do I have the ingredients to be the best at? Where do I already have some seeds of being the best already? And if I just nurture those seeds and really nurture my skills and my talent and my abilities, I could be one of the best ever at this thing. That's the question that you gotta ask yourself. The reason why this is a challenge for many people is because so many of us just decide, or I'm gonna be basketball, or I'm gonna make videos, or I'm gonna write books, or I'm gonna talk about this particular topic, and then you try to force your way into that when you don't have the ingredients to be the best at it. And the challenge with that is, yes, even though you could work hard and eventually become good at it, there are other people who already have the tools and they're working hard too. Therefore, you can never catch up to them because they have ingredients that you don't have. No matter how hard you work, you'll never get there. So don't choose something that you don't already have some tools for. And the key to this is you gotta be able to look into yourself. You gotta know who you are. Know what tools you bring to the table, know what you don't bring to the table, know what you're good at, know what you're not good at, and be honest with yourself about it. Nobody can force you to be honest with yourself about yourself. I can only give you the seeds, but you gotta nurture the seed and actually use what I'm telling you here. Don't try to force your way into something that you're not already having some tools to be great at. If you can answer that question, what I can be the best in the world at, and you focus your energy there, that's when the results are going to start coming to you if you really get serious about it and you really own that spot. And don't keep changing your mind every week, but really figure out what that is and own that spot. And the last thing I'll tell you is that this might not come to you in 3 minutes. You might need to think about this for a few weeks, maybe even a few months, maybe even a year. You might need to try some new things before you even know what the answer is. But this is where all the money's at. The money meaning actual money and everything else. Attention, fame, happiness, success, whatever you want. Figure out what's that thing you're going to own. And as you nurture it over time, eventually you'll own it so much that you're the only person anybody can think of when that thing comes up. Think about what that could be for you. And then get ready for the long haul of discipline that you're going to need to make that turn into something. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.